I'm Justin Spring from Soul Speak. Welcome. We have a video for you that I think you're really going to enjoy. It's called Poetry in 3 Dimensions. I know that may sound a little bit over the top for some of you, but we're really looking at new ways to bring poetry into the lives of people. You know, poetry is missing from many people's lives, and it's been one of the primary missions of Soul Speak as a nonprofit is to bring poetry back into the everyday lives of everyday people. It's a very important mission to us, and we spend a lot of time trying to do that. It's made a little difficult by the fact that people aren't exposed to poetry today, especially our young people. You know, you would think at least it would be in the school systems, but it's not as prevalent as it used to be by far. It's kind of fallen by the wayside. And for sure, it's not in our daily newspapers as it used to be. It's not even in our book reviews, our very best book reviews. And for sure, it's not in our magazines, the common magazines we used to read 25 or 50 years ago. That's all gone by the wayside. And even though poetry is a human art, it's one that's in us. We don't have to really be taught how to do poetry. We just have to be exposed to it. In the same way that we're exposed to gossip or to jokes when we're children, we just get the idea just like that, you know. But if you're not exposed to poetry in any form, if you never hear it or see it or look at it on a page, then in fact what happens is the form sometimes lays completely dormant within us. We think that one of the ways to reawaken your poetry in people, both our young people and maybe some of the older people who haven't looked at a poem in a long time or even thought in a poetic way, is to bring it back in a form that's more vibrant in 3 dimensions. And by that I mean is that we worked with students. This is really a student film. It's a college film of student artists we work with at the Ringling School of Art and Design and over at New College here in Sarasota, which is a part of USF. Students who had interesting artistic ideas, who were artists themselves, and we sat down with them along with the faculty in some cases, and we created collaborations. We asked the students for their artwork, which would take the form of photographs, sometimes paintings, which we would actually videotape as they painted. Sometimes it took the form of video clips, sometimes it took the form of animation, something that they thought expressed who they were. And then we asked them, in some cases, for poems, if they had actually made written poems themselves, and they gave us several to choose from. And then together with that, we started to construct something that was a poem in 3 dimensions. That is, it not only had the textual layer to it, but like a Bach fugue, had other layers. It had a visual layer, which we would construct from the visual matter they gave us, a visual poem story, to which we added a musical poem, to which we added a soundscape in terms of effects, and finally we may have added an oral poem of 1 or 2 voices going on simultaneously. They were all different poems, but like the Bach fugue, they all become one in the end thanks to the human genius. We hope you like this. It's a new way of looking at poetry that's an old way of looking at poetry, because poetry before writing had many dimensions. It was masked. People put masks on themselves and painted their bodies and moved to music and chanted in unison communally. Very full-blooded poetry. So the written poetry we have today basically is just a small part of what poetry started out to be originally. It's been with us for just 3,000 years, written poetry. So we're looking at hundreds of thousands of years in which this other poetry was there. And if you'd like to know more about our creative collaboration programs with artists and student artists, just go to our webpage, soulspeak.org, and contact us. We'd be glad to speak to you. It always happens like this. Nobody really knows why, but everybody starts to go a little crazy all of a sudden. You know, with putting everything up in the air and then taking it back down, and then everybody's giving you all this goddamn advice, but nobody knows how to really take it because it's coming at you
so fast you can't figure out whether it's for real or whether it's not for real. So what are you going to do after a while? Just not going to do anything. That's what everybody starts to go a little crazy all of a sudden. That's what, with putting everything up in the air and then taking it back down, and then everybody's giving you all this goddamn advice, but nobody knows how to really take it because it's coming at you so fast you can't figure out whether it's for real or whether it's not for real. So what are you going to do after a while? Just not going to do anything. That's what you're going to do. Goddamn nothing. Nothing. That's what you're going to do. Nobody really knows why. Everybody starts to go a little crazy all of a sudden. With putting everything up in the air and then taking it back down, and then everybody's giving you all this goddamn advice, but nobody knows how to really take it because it's coming at you so fast you can't.
Well, here we're gonna go again in the jealousy. You look down, you're not jealous of the sea, you're just a jealousy in the belly of the sea. And then you got to look down a little further, then you see the jelly in the belly of the bottom of the sea. Nobody want to walk there no more. I don't think so. They see it as just wait a minute, I think we're coming into something here. I know we're coming into something here. Look like outer space, don't it? But this is the jelly in outer space. That's what it is. It's the jelly out of space. Nobody know how to do that, really. Nobody want to, I don't want, that everybody got to run now. That's the story. Everybody, even the jelly heads with the belly in the bottom of the sea. I never want to go here again. Hey, don't call me Fatso, I'm talking to you. I know Fatso, you can talk Fatso yourself, I'll tell you, get out of here. This looks like a big mess. Merry Christmas, but hey, Fatso, I said run, You've got to listen to me once in a while. Everybody gonna go crazy, Look at that, like at the bottom of the ocean or something. You're looking down, it is time to go. I told you. Listen to me. Time to go. You got to go. You don't go, real trouble. Blast off. Goodbye. 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 Goodbye.
Supported by the government and built for for the comfort of people like you. Now take it easy. Have a good time and don't be impatient. Don't tell me that you too had to seek the one way out.
No.
Ill health?
No.
Love?
Oh, no.
Well, then what was the idea?
I was desperate. I searched and searched, but I couldn't find it.
I know. The little bluebird of happiness.
No, Snap. A permanent way that would stay put. Now I ask you, what would life be without a permanent way?
And you call that trouble? Listen to mine. I bought General Toothpick at 83. Now it's down to 10. That's trouble.
Money. Funny how life is.
Suicide Club. I have an idea. We'll take all our troubles and put them into one big pile and then divide them equally. If we did that, we'd all have more trouble than we have. Suicide National Park. Suicide National Park. Suicide National Park.
Just kind of surprised to see you turn up in our outfit. Let me go. A long road home. Guess you'd rather be going back into combat. Like I said, you haven't changed much. Finish your drink and let's get back. We're going back on the line. Back to the line. We're going back on the line. Back to the line. Back to the line. On the line. We're going back on the line.
Zone out, zone in. Zone all around. Honing voices in, melting visions out. Train of thoughts, words within words, stringed by frozen purple beats. Hoopty ridettes fly through, dukes hazardous float by. The green dragons do some hocus pocus. Goddesses from the east were red warriors. Hoosiers shoot the nylon breeze. Dr. Pete's pepper of pistol spin. Soon shadows in paint splashes paint a perfect picture. Excited cycling airborne fade, following factories of Cosby sweaters searching. Strangers in the moonlight slip away like drops of wine. Disappearing visions out and zero voices in.
ocean, heavy is the sun, heavy is the sand and the bricks and the mud, heavy is the sinking, heavy is the line, heavy are the steps and the breaths and the times. Heavy are the waves, heavy is the heat and the clouds and the rain, heavy is the changing, heavy is the life, heavy is the pause between the day and the night. Heavy is the ocean, heavy is the sun, heavy is the sand and the bricks and the mud, heavy is the sinking, heavy is the line, heavy are the steps and the breaths and the times. Heavy are the waves, heavy is the heat and the clouds and the rain, heavy is the changing, heavy is the life, heavy is the pause between the day and the night. Heavy is the ocean, heavy is the sun, heavy is the sand and the bricks and the mud, heavy is the sinking, heavy is the line, heavy are the steps and the breaths and the times. ocean, heavy is the sun, heavy is the sand and the bricks and the mud, heavy is the sinking, heavy is the line, heavy are the steps and the breaths and the time. Heavy is the motion, heavy are the waves, heavy is the heat and the clouds and the rain.
Well, you know, everybody's always talking about the eyes have it.
I have it.
But they don't really have it. They just, sometimes they have it, you know?
You have it.
The way they look at you and then they look away, you know?
Look at my eyes.
Sometimes when you look at eyes, they look back at you and you can see something.
Close your eyes.
Sometimes you don't see anything, you know?
Look at me.
It's like an empty room.
I'll look at you.
And then sometimes you just see everything.
Hey, you're cute.
I like looking at eyes that way.
Are you blinking at me?
Where they open and shut, you know?
It's very attractive.
They always tell you different things when they're closed.
Hmm.
And when they're open, they tell you different things entirely.
I like to get closer to you.
I like that.
Open, shut, open, shut.
Just look at the way eyes look at you.
Turn around.
I guess the eyes do have it.
I have it.
They just have it, you know? You just can tell they have it. I guess that's the way it is.
Yes, it is.
Look at them. They just look back and forth, and
Back and forth.
you can look in. It's like a big empty pool.
In and out, in and out.
And then they just kind of shut their eyes, and then they open them, and then
Look again.
they're just telling you all kinds of things.
Look backwards.
I like the way the eyes look at you.
Look far, far
They
away.
have all kinds of things to say.
Look into the future.
The eyes are the windows of the soul, you know,
Look inside yourself.
even when they're closed.
I like the way you look.
You know, there's kind of handwriting on your eyelids.
Is there?
Yeah, there is.
Open, shut.
You can see it.
I can see it.
People close your eyes, you know. They
Very attractive.
tell you something. When you open them wide, they tell you something, you know.
What does it say?
You just have to figure out what you're looking at, you know.
I could look at you forever.
Whether you're looking in or you just have to tell if you're looking in or they're looking out, or
Looking up and down.
maybe it's both happening, you know.
Look far into the past.
I like that about eyes, the way they open and shut, open and shut, open and shut. They're always telling you something new, you know. Every time they look at you, it's really something, those eyes.
They're really something.
I can't, you never really get enough of eyes, do you? Uh-uh. Uh-uh.
In the good old days, in the summertime, it's always on my mind. In the sunshade, in the sunrise. In the summertime, can you all come out to play? It's a phenomenon. Come out and do it my way. In the summertime. take it down. You gotta take it down. In the grassy place, in the summertime, with the sunshine.